We are here to celebrate Diwali with someone who has predicted many booms and many busts. In 2008, he was known as the man who saw tomorrow, Shankar Sharma of First Global. Today, we would not only be celebrating the Festival of Lights with Shankar Sharma, we would also identify some money-making ideas. Hi Shankar, good to see you. Happy Diwali. Thank you for having us over.
Sure, thanks. Have a seat.
Thank you. Shankar, it's Diwali evening, so tell us your first recollection of Diwali.
Oh, first recollection goes back many years, but yeah, I mean Diwali has always been celebrated well in my house for many years. But over the last few years, we never gotten around to doing it because usually I've been traveling around Diwali time. But fortunately this time I'm here, even though my wife and my child are not here, but that's okay.
So missing them essentially?
Yeah, of course. On situations like this, obviously, you will always miss them.
In last 1 year, Indian markets have really come up a long way. At a macro level, if you bought India, the call has been right. What's the way forward?
Just looking at the kind of stocks that have done well in the last, let's say, 6 months' time, that is what has been heartening, that it's the quality end of the market that has done well. So the junk end of the market, or let's say lower quality end of the market, has really hurt. So if you were long, let's say the poorer quality names, you were actually down for the year or flat for the year, as opposed to having bought quality, and you know what the quality names are. If you bought the quality, then you are up like between 20 and 50%, if not more. So there's a big disconnect this time. It's not been a uniform market. It's been a very two-tiered market. So if you're in the wrong stocks, wrong sectors, you are finished. But if you're in the right ones, you're looking very good. So what has given us confidence is that the good ones have done well. So the good guys have been winning, and the so-called not so good guys have not been winning. Till that time, we are okay. That is sustains, we are okay. The day that equation shifts, and inevitably it will shift at some point, markets, bull markets will end badly. Till that moment doesn't come, we are still quite comfortable.
Are we there yet?
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think the good ones still look to have a lot of strong legs. I think they will carry on for a while more.
But will the leadership get narrower and narrower? We've got 3 or 4 large sectors which are outperforming. Will it just come down to 1 or perhaps even 2?
Market has been very narrow, without any doubt. Like you very correctly point out, just 3 or 4 sectors have been driving the markets up. Broad parts of the markets have been lagging. Last few weeks, even the mid-caps have actually lagged quite significantly. That doesn't augur well for a medium-term perspective, because narrow markets, again, inevitably will crash at some point. But for the time that it lasts, you can make a lot of money being invested in the narrow stocks. So in the technology boom, the real economy companies were hurting, but tech stocks were really running. So you have to time that right. But if you are able to time that right, you can make a lot of money just buying the narrow list of stocks or the 2 or 3 sectors that are running. And you can make tons of money. So.
I'm just going to take the clock back with you. So what's your biggest recollection of one trade which was this big contra trade as a house you identified, and that has really worked like a charm for you?
Well, over the years there have been many. The last one was obviously Tata Motors. But I do remember way back in the mid-90s, we had ITC when ITC was raided by FERA, etc. And, some officers were arrested. That was again a big call. ITC, I think, went up 50-100% in a matter of 6 months' time. The last one was Tata Motors. Clearly, that's something that gives us a lot of feel good. Not because the stock has done well. Stock can do well for a variety of reasons. And I can like a stock, but it can go up for a reason different from what I originally postulated. But in Tata Motors' case, our call was that the JLR piece is the real piece and not so much the domestic business. And it was a call that was met with a lot of skepticism, not because the stock price was wrong, that we are projecting that Tata Motors will go to this price. Nobody disagreed with that, but they were disagreeing with the logic. They were saying JLR is a deadbeat company. It's still making losses, etc. So it takes years to turn around, if at all it can be turned around. And our take was that no, just watch out. I think JLR piece will be so valuable that you can't even imagine. And imagine when the last numbers came out, 400 crores domestic profits, 1600 crore JLR profits. That kind of number nobody really expected. So it's not the stock price doing well that makes you feel good. It is really that your rationale and your logic was actually right. And so that we feel pretty well and quite satisfied about.
Now that you've identified the golden Muhurat picks for us, what's next and how are we celebrating the Diwali with Shankar Sharma?
Oh, we are going to go home and we're going to do the traditional puja and we'll take it up from there.
Your friends are also over, I've been told.
Yes. I've told a few of them to turn up and because I'm a bachelor today, so at the very least we can sit and play some cards.
This show brought to you by ASK Wealth Management, over 25 years of managing wealth.
When your time is precious, let the experts manage your wealth. ASK Wealth Management, over 25 years of managing wealth.
I want to see the chef, please. This is the best Chinese I've ever had.
If it's Chinese, it's made in China.
Wishing you a naturally happy Diwali from Ayur. Wishing you a naturally happy Diwali from Ayur.
When our chefs wake up on time, our kitchen works on time. When the hostesses wake up on time, they look oh so pretty on time. When our pilots take off on time, we get our work done on time. We become the world's most powerful economy on time. On time is a wonderful thing.
Diwali, it is not only the festival of lights, it is also the auspicious day when these street watchers, they worship the goddess of money, Lakshmi Puja. We are now at Shankar's house and we will now perform the traditional Diwali Puja with Shankar. Thank you, Shankar. It was also a pleasure. Happy Diwali.
Thank you.
I hope you like sweet corn.
Oh, I love it. Thank you.
And here's a hug from us. Wish you a very happy Diwali.
Thank you. Thank you.
Shankar, bull markets are all about running with the runners. And the runners so far this year have been IT stocks, auto stocks and banking stocks. What's your sense? For next 1 year, will the leadership remain intact with these key sectors?
No, I think IT won't be a leader. I think there's enough reason to believe that leadership of IT has more or less run the course. And if you take TCS is probably the only exception because Wipro has been hurting, Infosys has been hurting. But definitely autos continue to be our favorite and I think that will continue to lead the market for quite a while to come. So I think the leadership change just yet is not visible. I'd be very surprised if autos or pharma or PSU banks suddenly fall off a cliff and give up the leadership to some other sector.
Why is that you don't like IT stocks now? Because I remember 2009, that was a big contra call. Is IT a big contra sell now?
I wouldn't go as far as to say it's a sell, but definitely I don't think IT stocks will outperform markets as handily as they did in 2008 and 2009. So every trade has a shelf life. Okay, so telecom did very well from 2003 to 2007 and since then it has gone nowhere except down and just few bear market rallies. So IT did well in the bear market and even through the first half of the bull market. But I just think the pressure of the rupee strengthening as well as probably some measures from the US government which are anti-outsourcing. I think those two factors will continue to weigh very heavily. And remember again, it's a large sector, pretty mature by way of Indian history anyway. So you can't expect those sectors to continually be leaders. I mean, they're all terrific companies for sure, but I doubt if leadership will remain in their hands for a while.
You were bullish on Mahindra Satyam. Can Mahindra Satyam be an exception from the IT space?
Well, the numbers were disappointing, as we have all seen. The key issue really remains that I think the big question mark is the merger with Tech Mahindra and whether the merger ratio will be adverse to Satyam shareholders or to Tech Mahindra shareholders. My gut feel tells me that it will be against Satyam shareholders, as would be logical. If you were Tech Mahindra, you would want to make the ratio adverse. I think that is really what is weighing on the stock just yet.
Shankar, your top call for the year 2010 was to buy Tata Motors and buy Tata Motors aggressively. Yeah. Then that really has worked like a charm for you. Is Tata Motors still a buy?
Yeah, I keep scratching my head as to why a stock of this quality now. It wasn't that great quality 2 years back for sure, a lot of leverage and poor business, but now with the JLR numbers in, it's still trading at 10, 11 times earnings, still very, very cheap compared to the rest of the market. I really do think that unless some big dislocation happens in JLR, I think this is definitely a two-bagger from here on.
So what's your big bet for this year and for the next year?
Strangely enough, we haven't had any occasion to change our big bets for the last 18 months. So we have liked the auto pack overall, so Maruti, Bajaj Auto, TVS Motors, Tata Motors. You know, we've aggressively bought at every dip for our clients. We've liked Pharma. Pharma stocks have done phenomenally well. And Vaxi was $240 roughly a year back. Now it's, like 2.5 times those levels. Dr. Reddy's, Lupin. We liked all those, and we've liked the PSU banks. We liked IDBI at $120. Now it's nearly 180. Up nearly 50% in just 3 months' time. We liked IFCI. So those continue to, I think, look very, very good.
But let's nail it down to 3 money-making ideas. This is Diwali, so 3 money-making ideas from Shankar Sharma on the Diwali day for our viewers.
I'd given you Tata Motors and Bajaj Auto, I think about 6 or 8 months back, and I think from that time they've done very well. Bajaj still continues to be a favorite, but I think IDBI just replaced it, because we think there is greater upward momentum just for the moment. Not to say we dislike Bajaj. Tata Motors number 1, IDBI number 2. And a stock like Lupin definitely number 3. Lupin and Ranbaxy would be a number 3, joint number 3.
What about the avoids?
Oh, the same sector we have avoided. So we are negative metals, we are negative oil and gas, we are absolutely negative infra, and we are negative real estate. I mean, real estate had a bad time, so they have bounced back from the lows, but those things keep happening. Even telecoms did stage a smart rally, right? Bharti was 170, went to 240, 250. So did Idea. So those are trades, those are not like conviction buys. And you can play those. I have no problem in playing those, at the appropriate point. But if you were to ask me that whether fundamentally I'm convinced that they are buys, answer is no.
What about Coal India?
Well, I have a little bit of a bias against Coal India, and if you see the photographs behind me, these are all Coal India photographs.
Right.
Okay, so these are the coal miners. Mm-hmm. That is the coal on fire. Those are the way the people steal coal from the mines. Mm-hmm. Those are abandoned sheds. So
you're marketing Coal India right now, even though you're not the merchant banker there.
I'm not marketing it. I just like the pictures, and they are very evocative pictures because I grew up in the lap of Coal India. It was a company formed in front of my eyes in 1972. Mm-hmm. So that's a business I know very well. My father was an employee of Coal India. So, and that's the reason why I'm biased against it.
Mm-hmm. So biased in the positive manner, biased in the negative manner?
No, I'm biased against it.
Against it. But are you into photography? Because these pictures do look very intriguing to me.
I've been into photography since I was a kid. I don't do much photography now. Mm-hmm. But these prints I found near Jahangir Art Gallery, and I really liked them because they were very close home. Mm-hmm. They reminded me of my childhood, and so I picked them up. Mm-hmm. So it's coincidental you asked me about Coal India, and there we have coal miners right behind me.
2008, the top trade was buy emerging markets, buy commodities. 2009, the top trade was to buy India. 2010 and beyond, what to your mind could be the top trade?
I think emerging markets still look okay because I think the Western problems definitely are there to stay for a while, and strangely enough, dollar after having had a good bout of strength suddenly has collapsed, and if you were to assume that continues, then obviously there will be a flight of capital away from dollar assets into non-dollar assets, and emerging markets are offering some measure of growth. And plus now there's a dollar carry trade on because rates are really abysmally low in the US. The currency is weak. So almost everything that worked in favor of the yen carry trade is now becoming the dollar carry trade. As long as the carry trade works, you will see a flood of capital coming from the Western markets towards EMs. Within EMs, India looks just fine. At least it has a good stock market. I can't say much beyond that for the rest of the country. But India's biggest advantage is that it has a good stock market. Even though, as an Indian, I do want to offer this to the Chinese, that you take our stock market and give us your infrastructure. So, I'm willing to do the swap any day. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen, right? So.